Yeah. We get lit, we get fly, we get drunk, we get high. But to the masses, we a podcast called Verified. I am your host. I am JopauL. We are brought to you by Radio Pushers and Results in No Hype. Make sure you check out my goddamn website, theverifiedpodcast.com. I paid a lot of money for it, and I make sure that a lot of traffic goes through it. So make sure you go and check that shit out. Anyway, we are the only exclusive platform that interviews verified artists only. Make sure you got your blue check game up. And right now, we got a very special man, not only for the culture, but for DJing as a whole. DjWhutever. You've probably seen him at Z100 Jingle Ball. You've probably seen him at iHeart Music Festival. He does have a couple of radio shows. He's been all over the place. So when they say, oh, that's DjWhutever, you better make sure that you spell that shit right. DjWhutever, welcome to the Verified Podcast. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, man. I appreciate that intro, my bro. I appreciate that intro.
I try, man. I try. You know, you gotta suck them in. You gotta give them some sort of substance.
Yo, and I'm happy I'm verified so I can get on the show. You get me? Yes. I didn't know your show was only for verified artists.
Yes, sir. That's why we call it the Verified Podcast. Basically, hey, listen, we're trying to do something different. There's a billion podcasts out there. So my little niche is, that's the podcast that only interviews verified people. Very easily distinguishable, even though it's so hard to brand the word verified because everybody has it in their in their title. But we got our blue check games on Smash, so that's why we're on the Verified Podcast. That's why we're happy we got you here.
That's good. Look, I'm happy to be here, my brother. I'm happy to be here.
Cheers. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun today. I don't know if you got a chance to check out any of my previous podcasts, but what we do is this is like an intimate sort of therapy session. We get into like the psyche of who you are. So if you are crazy, we are gonna figure that out before the end of the episode. But it's all right though. Listen, us crazy minds think alike. So
yeah. Nah, I like that, my bro. I like that. And I definitely checked out some of your stuff. I know what you do.
Oh, dope. Well, I appreciate you. So let's jump right into it. So DjWhutever.
Yes.
New York native from the Bronx.
Yes.
What part of the BX you from?
South Bronx. So over by Yankee
South Bronx.
Exactly. Over by Yankee Stadium. So that whole 161st Street courthouse, Yankee Stadium, D train, 4 train. That's me. That's my area where I'm born and raised, my brother.
Okay, got you. My pops is from the Bronx. He was supposed to let me know what area in the Bronx he was from, and that was on a different podcast that I mentioned that. But I'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, you got to find that out, man, because he's from the BX.
Yes, sir. He wasn't no gangster or anything like that. He's a CPA accountant or retired.
But still from the BX. You know what I mean? Nothing but love.
That's a fact.
Where you from?
I'm from Staten Island, born and raised. Shaolin, no connection to Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
But I had those venomous bars that I know that a bunch of Wu-Tang members were looking at me like, okay, all right, I see you got your shit. I mean, I was in the hip hop industry since 1996, and I went under the name Lyric Enforcer. And I was in like a hardcore hip hop rap group.
Oh, dope.
With some gangsters and some legends and some hustlers and some pimps. We had a group called SMG, or Sex, Money, and Guns. And we did a whole bunch of shit, and we're actually doing a reunion. So we definitely going to have a conversation and work together.
For sure.
So let's jump in a little bit to your story. I want to find out who you are as a person. So talk to me about young DjWhutever. Before DjWhutever even thought about music or anything like that. Like for instance, like when you were younger, what did your parents do for a living?
My mom, occupational therapist, and my dad worked for the state of New York as well. You know what I'm saying? My dad passed away when I was 12. But
I'm sorry to hear that. God bless you.
Nah, sure, man. But incredible dude, man. He instilled a lot of the traits and the morals and stuff that I still have today. So I mean, younger me, bro, like growing up in the Bronx, man, I was heavy into sports. So baseball was my thing. You get me? A lot of people who know me from early know me like being incredible at baseball. And I played baseball all the way into college. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, word? Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. So, baseball was my thing. Grew up, man. My mom and pops was working class. You get what I mean? Like, did they thing. We went through some of the same struggles. My dad, he dealt with like alcohol. you know what I mean, abuse and you know what I'm saying, and things of that sort. But I mean, bro, for the most part, man, growing up, my childhood was beautiful, man. It was
Oh,
beautiful. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what's up.
Filled with nothing but loved ones. My mom, my grandma, my mother's side of the family is from the Virgin Islands, so I spent a lot of summers going down there. And then, my dad's side of the family is from Cleveland, Ohio, so I would go down there sometimes. So it was cool, man.
That's what's up. So
Yeah.
would you attribute like your love for sports as a means of not living that South Bronx street life? Because I mean, we all know, South Bronx is, infamous for, murders, stabbings, pimps, hustlers, I mean, it's a breeding ground for, the bad way of life. So would you attribute, your love and your dedication to sports as a means to like keep you kind of off the streets, so to speak?
Yeah, bro. But what's crazy is, man, even though that was the environment that I grew up in, bro, like I feel like I wasn't seeing it as much, bro. I was so busy with my dad having me out, you know what I mean? Like all over the place, and my mom taking me different places, bro, that, honestly, I didn't even see too much of it. Obviously, as I got older, I heard and I had friends who started to divvy off into other stuff outside of playing sports, man. But me, I was always the one that was like, oh nah, that's not my cup of tea, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying right here. You feel me? So even as I got older, once you get ready to get to like the high school years where you see some of your friends that are just chilling outside all day long, and you like, okay, you out here a little longer than you supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Every time I come outside, you out here. And that's when I started to realize what some of them was dipping off into, and I was just like, nah, bro, that life just never, and I'm happy about it. It just never fascinated me. You understand what I'm saying? It was cool for me to see on movies, and I knew what was going on in the neighborhood as I continued to grow older, bro. But nah, it just never, I just never gravitated toward it. But
see, those like movies in like I guess you'd say like the late 80s, early 90s, like a lot of it was very, very intriguing. I mean, now I know the West Coast had like, like Menace to Society and South Central and Boys in the Hood. But on the East Coast, we had movies like Strapped, and and that's, basically, one of the first times on the East Coast, with a East Coast rapper, actually being a star in the actual movie, which was Fredro Starr from Onyx. Shout out to Onyx and Fredro Starr.
Yeah, for sure.
So I remember when I saw those movies, I was attracted to it, but it scared the shit out of me because I was like, yo, there's people that'll smoke you right in front of your moms. It's like, all right, maybe I shouldn't, escalate this, hustler level to that level, because I ain't built for that shit, or at least I wasn't back then. Not at that age.
Nah, so that's growing up, bro. That's how I was, man. Like it just didn't attract me like that, bro. Like if it wasn't sports for the most part, or even from before I fell in love with music, I always knew I loved music because I grew up in a household with my mom playing Luther Vandross, playing calypso music, playing everything. But it wasn't until later on in my high school years that I started, that I picked up actual DJing. You get what I mean?
What was your earliest like hip hop memory? Of it could be like the music you listen to. It could be the park jams. It could be anything.
I remember being a little kid, bro, and I was real little, man. I had to be about 3 or 4, man. And first hearing like your mom's is in my business. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I just remember learning the lyrics. Your mom's. Why is she so nosy? You know what I mean? Like, and falling in love with the sound, bro. It was like, yo, what is this? You get me? Growing up, we didn't have cable and all of that in my house. So it was more, even seeing the videos, it was more when I went to my grandmom's and my aunt's house that I would get to see the videos, and it just blew my mind. It was that song. And then I remember being a little kid and going over to my aunt's house and seeing the Doodoo Brown video, bro. Now, that blew my mind because it was ass cheeks.
Ass and titties everywhere.
Bro, I was like, yo, what is this? And I was a little kid. I probably should not have been seeing that video at that time, bro, but it made me realize that I loved women and I love the music. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
those
see,
are
when I saw that's when I discovered my love for big titties.
yeah.
I was like, I am sold edition. So I blame
Yeah,
hip hop
yeah.
for my love for oversized mammary
Yeah, yeah,
glands.
yeah. Nah, I got you. I got you. I got you 100%, bro. So that was my whole, that was my whole thing right there. Then when some of my first real memories of the whole thing, you get what I mean? From
I
early,
got you.
bro. From
Now,
super.
do you have any siblings? Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Nah. Just me, man. My mom said after she had me, she was like, nah, that was enough pain. I was good. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But
So,
lucky for me, bro, when I, growing up, man, I had tons of cousins. You know what
okay.
I'm saying? Tons of cousins, man, that was coming over to the crib, that I was going to their crib over in Jersey. You know what I mean? So and then my dad was a big kid, bro. Like me and him would get on the train and we'll be in Far Rockaway. We'll be all over the place. So I had the kind of situation with him where it was like, that's who I was playing Nintendo with and doing all of that. So I never really felt the need like, oh, damn, I wish I had a brother. Now, honestly, now that I'm older, you know what I mean? I'll sit down and be like, yo, it would have been cool to have a sister or a brother, but, wasn't the way the cards went.
I got you. So I shouldn't tell you that I had a twin brother. So it was like I
Man.
had a best friend in the house. I had a best friend and a worst enemy all at the same time, 24 hours a day.
He's still with us? He's still.
Oh, yes, sir. He's very, very with us.
Bro, how was that though? That had to be incredible.
Yeah. Okay. So to me, I don't know no different. So to me, it's like, having a twin brother, is I guess the same thing as having like somebody close in age to you, but they don't have any seniority over you, even though that fucker, he was all right. So my head was too big, so the doctors had to take him out. I was first. I was about to go out the pussy, but my head was too big, so we were cesarean. So my brother was sitting on top of me, so he got to get taken out first. So he has a 1 minute seniority over me on some technical shit. But to be honest, it was like having a best friend and a worst enemy all at the same time, because when we clashed. It's like, I'm a superior fighter because we used to fight every single day.
Are y'all like identical?
Identical.
Look alike, everything.
Everything. We did like twins modeling back in the day. We there's a couple times we switched classes. We never switched girls because I never wanted him to touch my girl and he never wanted me to touch his girl. But we could have.
Yeah.
We could have.
Yeah. But personalities were different.
Totally different. I mean, the environment and the people that you hang out with kind of sculpt you into the, the swagger or the personality that you have. So, we kind of went like different paths once high school started. Like he went more towards like I don't know how high school is now, but there was like, a rocker clique and then a skater clique and like a hip hop clique and then like, the nerdy kids and the drama club, so he went more towards the rocker side and I was more like into, I mean, I was more into smoking weed and fucking, getting wrecked.
Yeah, got you.
So it's like, so I, hooked up with a whole bunch of different cliques, but our personalities, for the most part, underneath it all, when you shed all of that, we're products of how our parents raised us.
Got you.
How society molded us. Yeah, we had a lot of shit that we went through and dealt with a lot of shit. So that kind of turned us into, crazy motherfuckers. But, but I smoke a lot of weed, so I stay calm instead of blowing the fuck up.
How's y'all relationship now?
Not perfect. Like we are the best of friends. I'll take a bullet for him. I will kill an entire block of people.
Yeah.
If it meant his survival. Like that one thing you can't come between me and my family, because it's like I have a lot of disturbing thoughts and I'll put them all to good use. Plus my knowledge of forensics and how to fucking get around that shit. I will kill you and nobody will find
nobody
trace.
Nah, I feel you, bro.
But anyway, hold on, I'm getting triggered. Let me
Nah, it's all good.
Nah, I'm kidding.
Listen, I'm getting to know you too, my brother, so we good.
I mean, that's what I love about this podcast. I mean, I guess my mission statement, as I would, come onto the mic would be, I'm basically telling my story while learning yours.
Got you.
So this way, it's the most, if I could be blunt and I could be frank, it's the most selfish, selfless, way of self-promotion.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, let me interview on my platform, but everyone is going to learn about me too in the process. So it's like,
of course.
So it's kind of like how can I promote myself during a pandemic when I don't feel like releasing music, but I have 25 years of people that I fuck with me that I never asked for a favor. It's like, yo, come on the podcast. I'm sorry. Am I boring you? We can take
no, bro. You're not boring me at all. I just long nights, bro. Long nights. Your man be up 24/7. You're not boring me at all.
Oh shit! I know you work,
bro. That's all.
Every person that I called to ask about you talked about your work ethic. Now I'm connected to a lot of different people through a lot of the years, but I was never one of those people to like always flaunt a picture with me and that person. I want to, like, it's like, yo, accept me for who the fuck I am. Yeah, I have been around a lot of famous motherfuckers, but but I hit up Special K and Teddy Ted from the Awesome 2.
Oh no.
And they were like, yo, we have nothing but good things to say about brother, and his work ethic is phenomenal.
No.
And that's pretty much what all the people saying. And it's like I've had a whole bunch of DJs on this podcast, and I love the interaction because the artist DJ connection has been lost in the digital age. It's like Spotify and all of those fucking direct service platforms have taken away the spotlight from the DJ being able to actually break the artist, being able to host those mixtapes, which we loved.
Got it.
And now they're the ones collecting on it, and I mean, it might be a DjWhutever playlist on Spotify, but who's making that money?
Yeah.
Spotify.
Fact.
It's crazy. When I had Latin Prince and DJ Dramos on my podcast, we went into such a long discussion about the nerdy side, of how, the digital age, is kind of taken away from the DJ shine and stuff like that.
Yeah, Dramos is cool, and Latin Prince is cool too, man.
Yeah, those my guys right there. So so back to your story, because we're talking too much about me, and this is about you, my brother. It's about getting you your flowers.
I'm here, bro.
So I hate to take it to a dark point, but you said you lost your father at 12 years old. So let's jump into that a little bit. How did you find that out? How did you take that in? Like, as a 12-year-old, you're not old enough to really, really understand, but you're not too young where you don't understand. So kind of take us through it if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, it was just something that, what I mean, that happened suddenly. And I mean, you just get the news, bro. You get the news. And I honestly, being 12, part of you kind of thinks, hey, maybe this is a bad dream. You get what I'm saying? And then part of you is just like, okay, nah, it's reality. You get what I mean? So I think, some people might have thought, that some of this stuff would have been super crazy on me. Like I wouldn't have been able to maybe handle it just because me and him were so close. You get what I mean? Like I was everywhere with my dad. My dad didn't even live with me. Him and my mom separated, but he still came and got me every single day. We still were in the park every single day. You get what I mean? So
the only thing that I would say is the reason why you probably didn't like let it hit you like and make it a tragic, like depression moment, because I think because you're an only child and it's you and your mom's, you probably had to assume that that male role, even though your mom's and him had split up. It's like you're the man of the house, and now I got to be strong for her.
Yeah,
so I'm not gonna let that kill me like that.
Yeah, it might have been some of that. I think, bro, I just always have been good my entire life, man, with understanding that things happen, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like things happen, not to dwell on things when they happen so much, and understand you gotta keep it moving. You get what I mean? Like that's some of the stuff that I think I learned from early. Like we could sit there, even, there's stuff that happens to me, you daily, or stuff that I'm sure we don't want to happen, but what do? You're gonna sit there and get down and get frustrated on something that you can't change, or you're gonna look toward the future, you know what I'm saying, and start to think about ways to improve and to get past it. You get what I mean?
Always about, you always got to show and prove.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I'm a
Exactly.
firm believer of that. You know, and while we're on the subject, so do you believe that every person has their own destiny written out, or do you believe that they create their own destiny?
I think, man, I would say a combination of both. I think God puts in you your gift. You understand what I'm saying? Like God is putting you from early your gift. Now, whether you choose to to go down that path, what you're supposed to do, because I believe each one of us has an assignment. I believe God blessed me with certain abilities that he didn't bless you with, and vice versa. He blessed you with certain abilities that he didn't bless me with because that was part of your calling. That was part of your journey. So
He did not bless me with height at all.
no, I got you. So then we probably know you weren't meant to be an NBA player. You get what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I knew that at a very, very.
Yeah.
I was nasty balling, but it's like I'm a shrimp going up to the fucking
Yeah.
the guys don't even have to jump. They're just like,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's like, bro, it's like I paid you before the game to let me fucking get that shot in.
Exactly, bro. So I think, I think we're all given different gifts. It's just sad that a lot of people let life beat them down and don't really capitalize on those gifts and really go after it and pursue what they know they're good at, what they know, you know what I'm saying? They have great gifts at. You get me? And there's a lot of people who are working jobs, doing a bunch of stuff that they're doing things that they don't want to do because they don't even believe that what they're gifted at and what they know they fell in love with from an early age, that working in that field or doing something on that end, they believe that can't actually provide them the income when at the end of the day, if they really pursued it, they'll probably make crazy more money than they making working whatever 9 to 5 or whatever job they're working that they don't want to do. So
Yeah.
I'm glad from young, my mom and my dad supported the things that I wanted to do. So like I said, from young, when it was a baseball player, they put in my head, okay, you can become the biggest major league baseball player if you want. You get me? Once I started the DJing, my mom, even though I was in college and in high school and all that, she backed me up. She was like, that's what you want to do. I'm with it.
That's
As
what's up.
opposed to some parents that be like, you can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
nah.
imagine me telling my mom, who's a 40-year teacher, and my father, who was, a CPA accountant, that I
Mhm.
was like, I'm gonna be a white rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, it was tough. I mean, thank God, like I had a bunch of success, like right, when I
Yeah.
was like 19, 20 years old, like big success where it was like, okay, they see the shit, like,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get to like the validation moment, with our parents, throughout this podcast,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's a big one where it's like, okay, I support what you do, but you have to finish college, you got to get a
Definitely.
job, and
Definitely.
stuff like that.
That's the one thing with me. I was always in school, man. So I was always, while I was pursuing everything, bro, I just believed that I needed to be in school. There was never a thought in my, and it's weird now that I'm older and I think about it, like there was never a thought in my head like, yo, I should drop out. Like, yo, I should do this because, I'm sure we'll get into it later, but it's like, yo, being in college and all of that stuff is really what exposed me to understanding that I can really do this for a living. You get me?
Yeah, oh, I feel you. It's like I always preach this on every podcast. I say to ever regret a decision made in the past is to not fully appreciate who
Mm-hmm.
you are today.
Mm-hmm.
And with regards to college, I did drop out of college, and
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have, because I was so close to getting my sociology degree. Like I was breezing right through it. I was fucking bitches. I was smoking weed through the campus. I mean, it's community college, but I was having fun, and
Yeah.
it was easy. But when I got the opportunity to perform at the Apollo Theater, and when I won the Teen People Magazine What's Next award, I was like, yo, that's it. I was like, when does a white Jewish rapper get to perform at the fucking Apollo Theater in Harlem, as an award winner for, this prestigious magazine,
Yeah.
and I got
Sure.
a full page picture. So, in the magazine, and a whole write up. And from that point, it was like, okay, maybe it's time that I actually pursue this.
Gotcha.
College, I'll have these credits. I'm very smart to begin with, or at least I think I am. And
Yeah.
I can apply myself later if this doesn't work. But I'm young enough. Almost like investing. My risk tolerance for failure was very high. So it's like, all right, I can go back to college. college. You know, I mean, I got some paper saved up. I'm hustling. I'll pay for it myself if I have to. That was my excuse to my parents, but that was also the validation that we were just talking about. So, you know, so that was the only thing I kind of regretted, you know, dropping out of college when I was like a couple credits away from having a fucking degree that I could have been like a fucking, you know, social worker or, you know, or, you know, some sort of doctor somewhere, somehow. But that's neither here nor there. So anyways, so I ask a lot of DJs this on the podcast. How influential was the movie Juice to you wanting to be a DJ?
At the time when the movie came out, it wasn't influential at all. Now, as I started to pursue DJing, I started to love the movie even more and more. So now it's one of my favorite top two movies, that and the original Coming to America. You know what I mean? But at first, honestly, it did more about my love of hip hop and my love of music than it did at that age about being a love of wanting to DJ. You know what I'm saying? That movie came out, what was that, like 92?
91, 92?
92, yeah, bro. I was still a youngin', so it was like
youngin'. Yeah, you do look very young. I mean, so it's like so that's probably like.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. You get what I'm saying? Like I remember seeing it, but it wasn't until my later years, bro, that it was like, okay, like I love this movie. You get what I'm saying? And now I'm seeing it more on the DJ side as the years went on. But honestly, you know, from young, it just did more about my love of the genre, the culture, the dress, the music, you know what I mean?
The swag, the lingo, the swag, lingo. Even the soundtrack is fucking dope.
Exactly.
Like everything about that, you know, that movie is iconic culture, you know, at its finest right there. And it definitely, you know, it's timeless too. It'll movies like that serve as like a time capsule, you know, to an era. And thank God we had that, you know, and thank God that Tupac was able to, you know, film that, you know, as well as Omar Epps, you know, thank God Tupac was able to get that movie out, you know, before, you know, he left us. You know, but I still think he's hiding on an island somewhere, not Staten Island, but he's hiding somewhere. You know? I just want to smoke a blunt with that motherfucker.
Yeah, I feel you, man. But I think that's what it did for me, man. It more impacted me on falling in love with the culture from an early age, you know what I'm saying? But again, as the years went on and I watched, you know, Omar Epps, you know, whatever stunt double they was using for all of those cuts he was doing, I was like, okay, yeah, this is fire. And then of course seeing guys in there like Red Alert, you know, in the movie who's you know, one of my guys, one of my close friends, the icon legend. It was like,
legend.
Okay, yeah, Red Alert was in everything in that era. You know what I mean?
I mean, I fell in love with hip hop at such an early age. So it's like when I, you know, remember seeing that movie, you know, and seeing Queen Latifah, DJ Red Alert, obviously Tupac, because I was a, you know, diehard Tupac fan. I was like, I just remember falling in love with it, but like almost to the point of like, wow, hip hop, you know, actually is scary, because like when he like actually like shot Steels, it's like, yo, that was his best friend. When he blew away Raheem, it's like, yo, that was your best friend. It's like, do people, I always said, do people really do that shit? Do they really shoot their best friends over some fucking nonsense? You know?
Exactly.
So, you know, I always was about the culture, and, you know, all of those movies just made me fall in love with it that much more. I mean, Breaking was one of the first ones to do it for me, you know, especially because, you know, you got, you know, that, Jean-Claude Van Damme's one of his first movies is Breaking. He's actually he's an extra on the beach in his fucking black leotard in the beginning scene when they're dancing on the cardboard box.
That's crazy.
At the beach. You see him like doing the same dance he does in Kickboxer. Like,
that's crazy.
Hysterical. I'm like, that's fucking Van Damme. I was like, holy shit.
That's crazy, bro.
But so growing up, what DJ? I mean, obviously DJ Red Alert, but what DJs you know, because I know that the Bronx, you were exposed to probably a whole bunch of DJs. You know, we had DJ Chubby Chub on here. Shout out to DJ Chubby Chub. He's from the Bronx. What DJ kind of did you that you saw made you want to actually be a DJ? And you know what? We're gonna save that question because we got our first celebrity guest that's coming in here. It looks like. Let me see. Who do we got here? I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it on your screen. There we go.
I see my man.
What up? What up?
There we go.
I see my homie right there. Shawn Prez.
Power Maker Moves. Prez right there in the flesh.
Yeah, I see my guy.
Fellas, what up? What up?
Hey, chilling, you know what I'm saying? We just kicking it, you know, just a couple of homies just doing our thing in the afternoon. A couple of icons and legends just shooting the shit about the way we used to shoot some shit back in the day.
Man. That's it. Shout to Prez. You know, I gotta ask Prez some other stuff, man, because Prez is reversing the aging thing. Like Prez is looking younger. Like I met Prez years ago. I might have met Prez in like 2003, 2004 when I was an intern at Hot 97. And this dude looking younger and younger each year, my bro. So
yo, you don't see these gray whiskers, man?
Nah, it ain't even the grays, bro. It's just my man be glistening. You know what I'm saying? My man
listen, the dude's shining.
My man Prez
he's moving an entire generation. So it's almost like he's drawing power from the people that he impacts. He talks about this all the time. It's not about the millions you make, it's about the millions you impact. And you could see, look, he's fucking glowing, right? Either that or he just, you know, him and, you know, and Mrs. Shawn Prez just did the nasty.
Well, Prez doing his thing, man.
Let me give him a nice little proper intro. Coming to the Verified Podcast, we got an icon and a legend, somebody that, you know, ran Bad Boy for 20 years practically, worked under Sean Diddy Combs. You know, I'm not even gonna really give you his whole resume. Just know he's a fucking legend and he's on the Verified Podcast. His name is Shawn Powermoves Prez. Welcome to the stage, my brother.
JopauL, what up? I'm honored. I'm honored to be gracing the Verified Podcast stage. So thanks for having me. You got my friend, my brother, the homie, DjWhutever. So I'm here with family. I feel good.
And you know, and that's why I wanted to have you on here, because I know that, you know, me and DjWhutever always pop in to your show on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday. This is the shameless plug. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. on IG Live. This is a Warrior Wednesday business IG community that basically helps each other. This is like your hip hop version of like a BMI. Okay. This is our networking group and we trade ideas. You know, there are legends that grace the stage all the time in there. So the greatest thing about your platform that I love is that you give entrepreneurs the opportunity to actually like get on and talk to you, because ultimately that would cost them about like, you know, $150 an hour consulting fee anywhere in the world. So I'm glad that we're all here, because I know that, you know, our triangle connection is you, my brother. So I wanted to introduce you. I wanted to praise your show. I wanted to bring you on here because there's a lot of insight that you could add to things that we were talking about and things that we're going to talk about. So welcome, Prez. I appreciate you for taking your time out for me.
Nah, absolutely. Thanks again for having me.
No problem. And I've been drinking, so I'm slurring my words a little bit. But that's what we do over here. I mean, listen, I'm alone in a pandemic. I'm a couple days away from the fully, you know, being vaccinated, because I got my shot last Thursday. So a couple more days and then I'm good to go. You know,
how the hell did you pull that off? We got to talk offline. I've been trying to get vaccinated. I can't. Yes,
we will definitely talk. Let's just say I had like 4 surgeries in the past like 5 years. So I have a bunch of like medical problems. Plus I smoke, so I have COPD. So, and I've been smoking for a long time. So that qualified me, you know, as a comorbidity that, you know, I was able to go to one of the mass vaccination sites. But we're going to talk offline because I'm going to tell you how you can do
it. Yo, you want to hear something crazy before we get into it?
Sure.
I'm looking at my man DjWhutever, and he got plaques behind him. Yo, here's a little nickel knowledge. I don't have one plaque
Get out of here.
My word to everything. I gave them all away.
Oh, you say he had plaques. I mean, you had to make it believe like you never got them.
Badboy plaques.
All my plaques, like I used to
No way out plaque, because the no way out plaque, all of those is some of my favorite joints.
They all every plaque I ever had is in the streets. Like somebody in the Bronx got them. Like I would give them to my brothers, my cousins. Every time I get a plaque, I'll be like, here, y'all take them.
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
That is crazy. I never got not one plaque. I mean, I deserve. I did have a song that I was on a compilation that made it to #1 on Billboard, and I was owed a nice fucking Billboard fucking plaque, but I don't do business with the company anymore. So I was like, fuck it. I was like, maybe I'll get a Billboard hit on my own.
Crazy. Yo, Prez, you don't regret that now? You don't wish you had one of them joints?
Nah, not really. You know,
did you take a picture of it at least so you could
nah, he didn't take no picture. Prez ain't take no picture. He just took it and gave it away to his peoples. I love that.
Yeah, I gave it to my people. I mean, it meant more to them than it did to me. Real talk. So, like every plaque I ever owned, and I'm gonna keep it real. I might have one old Bad Boy plaque, and it was a compilation from all of our albums, but I don't even know where it's at. If I got it, that would be the only one. But every artist I ever worked with, the minute I got them in, you know, I got brothers. They always wanted them. And, you know, a lot of my friends in the hood, they always wanted them. So I was like, yo, as soon as I got them, I was like, whoever come pick it up, it's yours.
Nah, I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you, bro.
I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you. You should have kept a couple of those shits, you know. But I mean, but like I said in the beginning, it's not about the millions you make. It's not about the trinkets you acquire. It's like, if that's not going to give you pleasure, it's like, let somebody else hold a piece of tangible hip hop history because maybe they could benefit from it. You know, it's like, and I can't take it with me when I die, you know. So if you can enjoy it and get some pleasure out of it, be my guest.
Nah, I get it. For some people, it means more. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, honestly, I just like how it looks in my studio because that's where we at. But
it's like my shit looks fucking floating back there.
But to be real with you, Joe, I got 2 plaques in my wall in my bathroom. And I just like how they look in my bathroom too. You know what I'm saying? So
hey, listen, it's in the right place. I'm sure it was some hot shit. You know? So there we so you know, it's supposed to be in the bathroom because it was some hot shit. But what were the plaques for? This way you can shamelessly plug yourself too.
Oh no, this just, man, you know how it goes, man. They give out, being that I'm on the radio and I'm playing a lot of these songs early, you know, they just give it as a way of thanking, I guess, the DJs for, you know, supporting, you know what I'm saying, with the reach of the record. That's all, man. So it's cool to, you know, to have a few of them, especially in the studio. But eventually I wanna do like Red Alert's house. Red Alert crib in ATL, his whole basement, he got them all around, and he got the Fugees, you know what I'm saying, all the legendary ones. And I walked in his basement, I was like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna keep collecting these joints. So when I get the big crib one day, I can have them all, you know what I'm saying, on the wall around my pool table and all that.
Oh, I hear you. So at least the radio station is kind of showing you your appreciation.
Well, that's the label, not the radio station. That's the label. Okay. You get me? So even like Prez saying, like when he had the plaques, I know they probably did a bunch and gave some to Funkmaster Flex. You know what I'm saying? All the DJs around the country who were helping, you know what I mean? The helping the record get as far as it got. And I know during those times they needed radio even more than, you know what I'm saying, artists.
And I'm laughing right now because I know that the plaques that the labels had printed up did not come out of the discretionary label budget. It definitely came out of the artist's discretionary budget. The label was definitely making the artist pay for every fucking plaque that they gave out.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
what labels would do.
Yeah, I don't know which budgets they coming out of, but I'm curious. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. They probably found a way to get it out the artist budget.
Of course. I mean, listen, I was always told that if I wanted a plaque, I had to pay for it myself, even if I earned it. It's like Billboard is not going to, like, you know, there's like 30 artists that were on the compilation. You know, it was like we reached #1 on the reggae charts, you know, and the song that I had was not really reggae, but it got on there. So I was like, fuck it, you know, and it went to #1, you know, on the Billboard charts. And I was like, I was like, okay, I could pay to have them send me the number one thing. I was like, I thought they do that for you. They're like, no, you got to pay for your own. I was like,
wow.
this is some shit right here.
Great.
I was like, fuck it. I was like, I could turn the lights on because of hip hop, but I can't really buy a billboard plaque, because of hip hop right now. So, but I'm glad we got into this discussion because, Prez, with your experience working at Badboy, how do you feel the relationship between the DJ has changed? Because the DJ back in the day, and we were talking about this previously, was the guy to break the artist. He was, for lack of better words, the master of the ceremony, even though he was the one playing the MC's record, or the MC's MP3 or whatever. So the label DJ relationship back in the day had to be 100. Now it's like the relationship with the DJ is like whatever, because radio is the last thing that they go to now. Now it's all about servicing the DSPs and social media platforms. So how do you feel about that? I mean, lack of better words, how do you feel about this fuck shit?
How do I personally feel about it, or how do I feel the relationship has changed?
Both. Let's talk about how it changed and then how you feel about it.
Okay, so I mean, it's changed dramatically. You gotta understand, like Badboy, and for anybody who it's crazy, right? Because I speak to the younger generation often, and many of them don't know who Diddy is, and I be confused, like, yo, you don't know who Sean Puffy Combs is?
Crazy.
And some of them, like 17, 18-year-olds, are like, no, or I heard about him. So first and foremost, that blows me away. But for anybody who's old enough to have, number one, lived through that era of Badboy and what Badboy meant to music and pop culture, Badboy was more than a label. Badboy changed it all. Like before Badboy, rappers was grimy, they was dirty, their pants was sagging down. Puff came in, he completely changed the landscape of what music and hip hop looked like, cleaned it up, made records that it wasn't just 17, 18-year-olds listening to. Your grandmother could listen to it because he was brought back the samples and it took her back to those days. But I'm saying all that to say, if you think about every record, I don't care if it's R&B or hip hop, Puff was very, very laser focused that the records had to first connect with the DJs. Everything. When they went in the studio, him and Harv Pierre, Derek D. Angeletti, all of the hitmen, it was always, will the DJs play this record? So I came up, I didn't know any other way, because every record I ever got in my hand, once they did what they did in the studio, the record came to Shawn Prez, me and my staff. And we was responsible for going out there and making sure the streets, the clubs, the radio, all of the DJs around the world was playing the records, knew that the record exists, put it into their rotation. And I don't know no other way. So when you're saying how the landscape has changed, for me, this is so damn foreign, because I look at a DJ, whatever, and he's the gatekeeper. He like him and all of his contemporaries and peers, they are the ones on the front line that's telling you, you got a hit or you don't. They're the ones on the front line that is ramming it down people's throats. So it's just crazy to me when I hear a lot of the younger artists, and whatever, you can speak to this better than me, but a lot of the younger artists don't even be wanting to go up to the radio station and do visits. And that to me is like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Like these are the guys who break your record. So the relationships with the record labels, it's completely changed, and it's so damn foreign to me. And then personally, the way I feel about it, you gotta understand, there is no Shawn Prez without a DjWhutever. It is no Shawn Prez without a Drama, a Flex, a Irie, a Clue. I don't exist without these guys. So when I sit and I think about it, I'm always, you know, humbled and bowing down, because I mean, I created the Global Spin Awards. That was my give back to the guys who made me me. So like it's a different world out there, but to me, the DJ is always been pivotal and super valuable when it came to breaking records. They are the ones on the front line.
Right. And so, the reason why I bring this up, this is a perfect contrast, because whatever you could speak to as well. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's say you don't have a platform like the New York Mets that you could, like, you know, kind of force feed, you know, a song that you really believe in, you know, for breaking purposes. The mm-hmm. word exclusive almost doesn't even exist anymore, because the second a record is out, they want to shoot it right to the Spotify, right to Apple Music, you know, and, you know, write the title, try to get the streams up, you know, because it's like, it's a pissing contest. It's really like, you know, showing how many streams, you know, you can amass on it is like, yo, look how big my dick is. I could fucking put it on the table. Like, so it's like, I feel like the fact that they've been able to take the exclusivity out of breaking a record, it's like there was some value to being able to give a record like, yo, nobody else has this. You are the first to be able to play this. And all of a sudden he believes in it. Now he's getting the clout that comes with that, because he's the one who turned his audience onto that. So it's like, you know, I just wanted you to speak on, you know, how the transition, you know, basically happens, you know, as a DJ on your platform. How do artists even go about approaching you when it's, I guess, an unsolicited, you know, solicitation, you know, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, though, man, it does feel like with Prez and like what you're saying, all of that's kind of been stripped away. And on both parts, I mean, obviously with all of the platforms.
Well, how do we stop them?
I don't think it's a way now, man. But even, you know, what's crazy is even with being on radio, it's not the same. You get me? Like, you're so playlisted. I can't just jump on radio and the way that I used to at one point and be able to say, yo, this is the new hot shit. Like, I'm blasting it off. You get what I mean? I might get a call from the program director like, yo, what are you playing? You get what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's all changed, man. It's all changed.
And I find that, no, I mean, I almost find that disturbing, because it's like, you're a DJ that you're not just an on-air personality. You're mm-hmm. now an on-air plus social media personality. You have mm-hmm. presence, you know, and in a national, practically global sense. So mm-hmm. it's like, why not give you the authority to be able to script kind of your own playlist? Like, why the PD is still trying to maintain, you know, some level of, I don't know, the yesteryear, when radio is the last place that people are going to promote their records these days.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of the reasons, man. They're doing so much extensive research. You get what I mean? They're doing deep dives into what records are working, what records are keeping the radio listener. You get what I mean? You know,
exactly my point. I don't think it's just the music. I think it's all right, the people that fuck with you are going to mm-hmm. fuck with you, whether you are on, you know, Power 105.1 mm-hmm. or you're on Boston 945. It's mm-hmm. like, so when does the program director say DjWhutever is keeping these listeners right now? If he's not here, they got no reason to come here. Like, I mean, they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna replace a whatever DJ.
Yeah, but they're not DJ whatever. Like Prez just said, they're not thinking like that, man. They're really not thinking like that, and that's why the power is in, you know, us having our own ways of doing what it is that we're doing. You know,
so I agree. What do you feel about Rock the Bells Radio? That, you know, what LL Cool J is doing?
I think it's cool. You're talking about on Sirius XM, right?
Sirius XM, because you know, because it's like, he's not handcuffed. Nobody's gonna tell LL, you know, her mama said knock you out. You know, like, you ain't gonna tell LL to do shit. You know, so it's like, you know, when talking about like owning our own platform or, our own piece of the culture that basically our hands aren't tied by corporate, Viacom, or,
But I mean, that's a deal that I know he has with Sirius XM. You get me? At the end of the day, if those numbers still come back that the ratings aren't, doing great, then they'll wrap that shit up too. You get what I mean?
Yeah, but LL still, mama said knock you out. You ain't gonna tell them.
Definitely. So
they'll send some assistant, but yeah. Shout out to LL Cool J and shout out to Sirius Satellite because
definitely.
They played one of my records the other day. Shout out to DJ Epps. I'm on a remix with Fredro Starr and Sheik Luch called 5 a.m. produced by JWhutever, and DJ Epps dropped it on there. So shout out to LL Cool J. Shout out to Rock the Bells Radio. Shout out DJ Epps. I had to get that in there real fast.
Yeah, that's cool, man. But even like I think what Prez has said in different times, man, we just got to continue to evolve. You get me? Continue to evolve and continue to move with the times, man. Continue to capitalize on our own platforms that we have going, man, from the YouTubes to the to the way you guys are doing podcasts. Like there's still ways of getting it. It's just in a different way. You get what I mean? So it's also power in us having these platforms where I'm able to still show my skills. I'm still able to connect directly with my audience, So I mean, it's still a space that we're in.
Right, and that's why I love what Prez does, on his IG Live, with the Powermoves, because it's like he actually takes his time out to help people that he could get paid for. Like this is a guy. Like I mean, I don't know if I'm not going to presume your financial situation, but you seem like a very intellectual person, and I'm sure that you didn't run out the back, and buy guns and prostitutes with your money, and I'm sure you did some nice things with it.
Not buying guns and prostitutes, definitely not.
Well, not that he's going to admit on this platform anyway.
Yeah, but. No, I think, and even with what Prez is doing, man, I know the number one thing he's doing, he's adding value and he's connecting directly with his audience. You get what I mean? Like, as long as you add in value, man, and you connecting with your audience, like, you're going to win. And his audience is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow as long as he gives us the content that he's giving. You know what I mean? So it's a powerful thing.
I mean, listen, Prez, I love what you do. I mean, there's so many entrepreneurs that I talk to all the time, especially from my background, working at the bank. I was able to, I'm reaching out to a whole bunch of people. I'm like, listen, while the platform is not so huge, get in there on the ground level because we have a great bunch of people and they have so much knowledge that you need to be able to sponge that shit and obtain whatever you can. So it's like, I always wanted to ask you, what made you want to even start doing that? Because a guy of your stature, you could probably, still get an executive role at one of these labels.
That's a good question. To answer the latter part of that, I could absolutely get a job at one of these labels without even thinking. But it goes to the exact reason why I started it. I started it for two reasons, actually. Number one, I'm purpose driven. I've never been driven by money a day in my life. Money, money comes when you really excel at what you do. And I believe people excel at what they do when they're living in their purpose, they're living in their gift, because that's when you're gonna go harder than anybody else out there. And then the money just comes. But also, I wanted, it's purposeful for me. I had to become that person that I didn't have growing up in the South Bronx. I knew I was bigger and I dreamed bigger than living in the South Bronx, but who the hell could I talk to? Who, even if I told them my dreams, who could say, yo, you know what? I get it. And these are the steps you should take to go after it. Because many of the people I grew up around, living for them and doing well for them was working a full-time job, maybe doing a double shift somewhere and moving uptown in the Bronx. They were still in the Bronx, but for them, now they was uptown and they thought they was doing something. And that's not a knock to them, but my thoughts, my dreams was much greater.
Much bigger than that.
Yeah, it was much bigger than that. So I try to give back. Like, it's important for me now to be the person that I never had. And number two, I would suffer. Like I did the music industry and I did it on a high level. I traveled this globe. I got more memories than most people can even think of having. But that time, like sometimes you got to be real with yourself. That time has come and it's gone. That ain't what wakes me up in the morning. What I'm doing now is purpose driven. This is what wakes me up.
It's fucking awesome. It really is. I mean, I know it's like improper to just curse after such an elegant, explanation like that, but it's fucking awesome. And I'll tell you what you've done personally for me during the pandemic. Now, like I said, I live alone. Like that, I go to my parents' house. I take care of, my father, and we'll get. And I wanted to, talk and ask how your mother was doing. But what you've done for me during the pandemic is you've given me something to look forward to on not 1 but 2 days of the week. So it's like, I'm cool. It's like the other days it's like, I fill it with podcasts and things to occupy my brain, or else I go crazy and run the streets and start going nuts on people. But you've given purpose. I learned something every single Monday, when you preach to us. It's like, I'm surprised you're not wearing like a preacher's collar, but but at the same time, you keep it just the right amount of hood, where people will know that you ain't playing no games, so it's like, you've been a personal inspiration since I've always known of you, what I'm saying? Like, I'm close with Shampoo. I'm close with, Rob Love, so it's like, I've always known about you, but I didn't really, get to know who you are until he actually interviewed you on his show, which, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Behind the Records. Make sure you check it out. Rob Love. Shameless plug right there. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So when I got to learn your story and then what you do and how you inspire people, I was like, it was at a time when I needed inspiration, because it's like, I've been alone, fucking lonely as shit, dealing with fucking debt and COVID all around everywhere. I live in Trumpville, so I want to fucking kill everybody, because it's like, people don't believe in masks. They think it's a hoax. They say they fucking, they're sniffing hydroxychloroquine, and they're good and they're not going to get COVID. But so your introduction to me, my introduction to you, came at the perfect time, where it offered a sense of purpose and inspiration. And then when I learned that you guys, talk about how business works, and I was like, oh, now I can add value, and I didn't want to, overstep any bounds, but it was like, I knew that there was things that I could add to the mix, because I ran the bank, for business division for 10 years. And I also ran the streets for a whole bunch of years, past statute of limitations, nobody listening. I'm a good white Jewish boy, even though I just went like this, like I'm Catholic. So, but I'm drunk, so it's all right though. But I just wanted to say thank you for the inspiration that you've given to me. I've told 1,000 people about your show, and it's up to them I can't lead the horses to water, even though I try to tag the shit out of them. I'm like, you need to come and get this knowledge. This is fucking free game right here. And all you got to do is pay attention. So, I don't know what the fuck people are doing anymore. But so I wanted to thank you. But I also wanted to ask you, how's your mother doing? Because I know that, you've been dealing, with some stuff with that. And I know that, I hope this isn't too personal on my podcast, but it is the Verified podcast. So it's the only platform, that we could talk about this, in peace with family.
Nah, like you said, this is family. So I'm glad you asked, number one. And number two, she's doing well. She had her second heart surgery Monday. What's today? Tuesday? It was yesterday. She came through it with flying colors. This is her last surgery, God willing, knock on wood. Spoke to her doctors today. She's doing well in ICU. Matter of fact, they moved her out of ICU a couple of hours ago. So
nice.
She's in. So, for one, thanks for asking, and thanks for keeping her in your prayers. And what people don't know, what we do over on the whole Power Move Maker community, our community, this is what it is. It ain't too personal. I share with y'all share with me, and we just try to build each other up and really try to encourage, motivate, educate each other. Because I truly believe that old African proverb, it takes a village, man. Mm-hmm. Like, none of us can do this on our own. Again, I was part of music history. And although Sean Combs, Puff, he's going to get all the credit. He's touching $1 billion, which I am not. But the bottom line is he didn't do it by himself. He couldn't do it by himself. And when you know, we get to sit in a room together, but like us three right now, just sharing and building and all of that, like this is what it's about. You can't, like, I don't care what you're trying to do in this world. Sometimes you just need family. You just need your brothers, your sisters. You just need people there who you know through thick and thin, they're gonna be along with me for the ride, even if they can't offer nothing but an ear to listen and just sit there and say, I get it. So, you know, for me, thank God mom is good. Thanks for asking. And that's what our community is all about.
Awesome. Awesome. And I love that you have a very philanthropic, you know, trait about you, that you're always looking to give back. So it's like, I felt that, you know, compelled to, you know, be like, you know, with everything that you do, it's like, we don't get enough time to basically say, you know, hey, how are you doing? Because I know that it's a very, very, you know, tough thing to deal with.
You get to a certain age, it's legacy. It's not money. It's legacy. What the F does your last name mean? Like when people say your name, what does it stand for? What does it mean? Early in the conversation,
I'm sorry, I just pictured you in like in the movie Troy in a Brad Pitt outfit saying, you know, but will they remember your name?
So yeah, but that's what it's about, right? Like,
Conquistador
one of my personal heroes is DJ Red Alert. I heard Whutever bring up Red Alert early in the conversation. I don't know if Red Alert was the direct reason why or whatever touched those turntables, but I can assure you, and I'll ask you this, whatever, like you going and being in that man's basement, that had to be surreal. Like, yo, I'm literally
surreal, my bro,
in Red Alert's basement.
Too surreal. And that's, you know, when I went out to ATL and he had just got his crib set up out there and he had just made the move out there. But yeah, I tell people all the time, like, for me, Red Alert is like a basketball player getting cool with Michael Jordan or getting cool with LeBron James. You get what I'm saying? Like Red Alert was probably the only celebrity DJ and all of that I was nervous to meet at 17 years old, getting an internship up at, you know what I'm saying, up at iHeart, bro. So yeah, it's like a surreal feeling. Even when he'll just call me once in the blue, like, yo, I see what you're doing. Like out of the blue, like, yo, I'm proud of you, keep it up. And I'll be like, yo, to me, that shit right there is.
Tell me you don't love those calls. Tell me you don't look at the phone.
I remember. Because they come out of nowhere, man. They come out of nowhere. Like, you just be anywhere in the crib. I remember one time I was in Syracuse getting ready to DJ a party at Syracuse University, and I just get a call from him out of nowhere. I pick up. He like, yo, I just wanted to call you real quick, man, tell you I see the moves you make and keep it up. That was all he wanted to say. And I'm like, yo, man, you know, people like that, man, you truly appreciate. You get what I'm saying? People like that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a testament to who you are, because I mean, anyone that knows you, like Prez, I was telling him before, every person that I called and asked, you know, always said that he was a straight, you know, solid dude. So it's like the relationships that you build is everything in this business. It's the thing that helps you maintain your longevity. It's like, and I know the exact feeling, because you know who does that a lot for me? Like Rob Love. Rob Love will call me out of nowhere and just be like, yo, how you doing, man? How's everything? Just want to check on you, you know, make sure everything is everything. I was like, you know, that's pretty cool of you, you know, like, and it's like a guy of his stature, you know, it's like, you don't have to call me, you know, he fucking ran fucking Def Jam. It's like, you know, who am I? You know, I mean,
it makes you realize, like Prez said, man, at the end of the day, it's about legacy. You get what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, man, the money's gonna come. You take care of your family, but you know, that's the shit that means the world to me, man. Being connected to good guys like Prez, good guys like Red Alert, guys that I can call like outside of the music shit just for man advice. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, shit like that, man, is important, man. So, you know, I'm appreciative of everybody who I've met in this game that I've built like great bonds with, you know?
I mean, you could anyone that knows you could tell that about you, and even the DJ Academy that you started. Like you have such a give back. It's like you don't really have to. I mean, you're busy as shit working, doing a whole bunch of things, but yet you still find time for the give back. So I wanted you to be, because I know that we're running into the hour, so I don't want to keep any before your manager start sending me invoices for your time. But talk to me about the DJ Academy, how that got started. How is it doing? How's it, managed during COVID?
Listen,
and
bro,
everything like that?
Once again, like Prez said, it's legacy. So I just got to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm busy. I'm making good money. You know what I mean? DJing, doing all the radio stuff. But how am I giving back? How am I going to be remembered when it's all said and done? Did I truly leave my mark on the world? Did I truly, use my gift to be able to do more than just making people dance at a party? Did I use this gift to be able to help inspire others? Because growing up in the South Bronx, man, like I think Prez made mention of, like, I didn't have people to show me different things, man. I was the kid in school that wasn't too interested in what was going on because I didn't see anything I aspired to be. You get what I mean? So me starting the DJ Academy is more just about showing these kids, man, that they can do different things, opening them up to different entrepreneurship opportunities, just letting them know, man, because that's the true thing behind it is, I'm teaching them the art of DJing, but it's also really instilling them that they can do whatever they want to do, man, whatever it is that they want to do. So, I mean, it's been good. It's been running through the pandemic. I've been doing some virtual, I've been doing some in person. You know what I mean? So things been real good, man. Like I can't.
That's excellent, man. Congratulations on it too,
good,
man. Definitely been watching what you're doing. Congratulations.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. But like Prez said, man, it's all about legacy and inspiring this next generation, man. Showing them that there's different things that they could be able to do, and that's it, man.
I mean, listen, that's like your legacy right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do whatever because I am whatever.
Exactly, my brother. Exactly. I like that.
How did you manage during this whole pandemic crisis? Like, I mean, what I know that we have all faced struggles like we've never had to, and people like us, I'm saying, we get our money from hustling and wheeling and dealing and being outside, and you are the official DJ for the New York Mets, which I could kind of relate. Not me. My boy Rome Makes Music was the official DJ for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then when they shut sports down, it's like, that's a bag right there that like you can't now. How are you? I feel like all of our revenue was like literally chopped at like, okay, 40% right off the top because now we can't do the regular shit that we were going to do.
No, I think at first when it hit, it was like, oh shit, like in my head. But to be honest with you, man, I was just having this conversation with somebody yesterday. I'm like, my finances wasn't affected at all. Like I would never think that. But when I'm looking at my bank account, I'm looking at the money I'm earning monthly. I'm like, damn, because, outside of it, I think the pandemic for me, man, gave me an opportunity to truly put the effort into the DJ Academy, truly put the effort into my merch, truly put the effort into the things that I always had going on. But because I was so busy with the DJing and traveling and doing parties all the time, that I feel like I wasn't giving 100% of my effort to. So outside of this, obviously us being in a pandemic with a lot of people, losing their lives and being sick. I mean, in a certain sense, it's been like a blessing to me, man, to really get my business correct. You get what I'm saying? Truly be able to sit back, spend more time with my son, spend more time with my family, realize, what it feels to have a Saturday and a Sunday to myself and a Friday. You know what I mean? For so many years, man, it was like I didn't know what a Friday and Saturday was because I had to be in the club. So I mean, it's been a blessing in disguise for me, man, personally.
I'm glad to hear that. And while we're on the subject of COVID, rest in peace to Fred the Godson. And I know that you had a close relationship with him, and that Incarcerated Scarface's record, even from years ago, like talk about bar lord, like Gordo was like, he was one of the greatest fucking people that I wish everybody, I wish he got almost like, I notice it might be somewhat fucked up to say is, I wish he would have got the same publicity like Nipsey got, because he was our great that never got a chance to shine like he was supposed to.
Facts. And I met Fred through Prez. You get me? Like, Prez had a heavy, hand in the early days of Fred. So shout to Prez for even believing in him. Yeah, shout to Prez for even believing in him to, to put some effort into getting him up and running from the early days.
Nah, I mean, people don't realize that like the real reason why the industry take Fred serious is because of me. Like, I don't even say that braggadocious. Y'all know I'm very, very humble. But if you go listen to any of Fred's mixtapes, any of them, my name is freaking in every song. So it's
love.
Literally, you go to listen to City of God, Armageddon, all of his early mixtapes. That's Shawn Prez. And again, it's about legacy, right? Fred was he was right there on the cusp of when music was completely changing. And I love Fred so much. And I was like, yo, you know what? You from the BX, I'm from the BX. And I'll tell y'all a quick story. When I first met Fred, Fred was a young fat kid. And he used to have a partner. And I brought Fred up to Badboy in like year 2000, maybe 2003. And I brought him to Badboy, and I had him spit for Puff and for Hov. And I'll never forget this day, because I went to the Bronx, I got him, I drove him back down to Manhattan, had him spit for Puff and Hov in Puff's office, because Puff was like, yo, we need some new rappers. We need some hot rappers. I was like, I got him. And it was him and his partner. Their group was called Talking About Money. And I'll never forget this, because when Fred got done doing what he did, and he killed it, he murdered it.
Like he always does.
Yeah, Puff asked him to step outside, him and his partner. As soon as he walked outside, I'm standing there. I know Puff very well. I know Hov very well. And they was like, yo, you did all of this raving for him? Yo, no. You stay out the studio, just break our records. We don't never want to hear you bring another artist to this label. So this was years ago. And then maybe like 2008 or something like that, me and Fred reconnected, and I was like, yo, we got unfinished business. Let's get busy. So like I said, if you don't go listen to any of the mixtapes that put Fred on, all those collaborations, that was me. I put my name on the line for that kid. It's just unfortunate for him. The music industry had changed. Like the type of rap. Nobody wanted that wittiness, the cleverness, the intricate wordplay that Fred brought to the table. They was looking for dumbed down rhymes, for hooks with
I can't stand that shit.
But that's what they was looking for.
Yeah.
Fred, if I had done with Fred in 08, 09, what I was supposed to do with him back in the early 2000s, like 2001, Fred would have been out of here, because the music had changed. But shout to Fred the Godson.
Yeah, and that's why he was, he shortly before he passed, like he was excited about where hip hop was going. I remember him calling me, like he was excited about the Griseldas getting shine, and you know what I mean, and the Benny the Butchers getting
Benny the Butcher.
He was excited because he felt as if his lane was coming back. Like people were, although people still wanted the futures and all of these kind of rhymes, there was still a lane.
They were getting sick of that. Like, I wanna drink lane. No, that fucking.
I feel like now, like there's still, how we have like the Griseldas, how we have guys that are shining in realm. So I think he was super excited, man, about that coming back. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm super excited for that boom bap lane to come back because that's what I grew up on. I'm a natural born lyricist. So it's like, I don't know, and I don't know how to dumb down my rhymes to be like I got a bat. Hey, 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 look at the cat. Hey, 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 we got to rap. Hey, hey, hey.
You know what's crazy too? When they put out
nobody would sample that shit and try to make it a fucking meme or anything like that.
Got you. You know it's crazy. I remember Prez calling me because when I first heard that, I think it's the City of God's mixtape, but when y'all put out the what's that? I don't give up. I remember telling Fred, I say, yo, this is the one. And I remember you calling me like, yo, you really think this is, and I say, yo, Prez, I'm telling you, bro. And me and you had like an hour-long conversation because you called me just to confirm, like, yo, you really feeling like this is the one? And I remember that record because that record right there it just stood out to me on that whole mixtape, man. And that was the record I remember when it was getting played on radio, people were calling like, yo, who is this? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's when y'all went ham and did the videos and all of that stuff. So crazy, man.
Man, rest in peace to Fred, man. He was
crazy about that record. I know when he made that record, we was in the, and I'm not a studio dude at all. I hate being in the studio, but I was in the studio that night. And when I left, him and Remo the Hitmaker stayed. And the next day, as a matter of fact, like 2, 3 in the morning, he called me. He was like, yo, Prez, we got one. And I was like, huh? He was like, yo, we got one. And that was a record that Fred didn't even want to make because Fred is a nice guy. Fred don't even talk like that. But it was Remo, shout out to Remo the Hitmaker, that really pushed him to do that hook and just go in. Because if you listen to the lyrics of that record, it's a disrespectful record.
Yeah, it is.
And that ain't who Fred the God is.
Nah, that's still one of my favorites, man. Still one of my favorites.
We lost a great with him, and
definitely.
I hate that I brought it to like a morbid subject, because we were talking about COVID, but it's like, I feel
it's a good subject. It's a celebration of life, JopauL.
Agreed. And I bring it up because it's like, and I could ask, two people like you, your opinion, you know what I'm saying, before I let you go, because I know I've taken up your time and it's probably dinner time, for a couple of you. I know I'm fucking starving, but, because we could talk probably all night. But the fact that we lost a great one like Fred to COVID, how do you feel that the hip hop community still really is not embracing the social distance guidelines, the wearing of a mask, even to getting vaccinated? I'd love to get your takes on it, aside from any sort of political ledge that you guys are on or anything like that. Just, how is it that the hip hop community still is not really taking this as serious as they should when we lost a great one like Fred?
You want to take that?
You go ahead, Prez.
Well, I'm disappointed, just to keep it 100. Like this is bigger than hip hop. This is for whoever is out. Like, I personally know, like Fred was one of several people who was near and dear to my heart that ain't breathing no more. They ain't living. This COVID thing is real. And I'm disappointed when I hear our ex-president and all of his minions running around talking about COVID ain't real. No, it's people laying up in the grave right now that tell them COVID ain't real. Mm-hmm. So for our community, and I want to say this nicely, like I get it. If somebody influential says something, sometimes everybody runs with it. Be independent with your thoughts. Be independent with your mindset. This vaccination is necessary. Me and Whutever, we spoke offline about this the other day. Like, real talk. This is just how we do as brothers.
Definitely.
It's necessary. So I tell anybody out there, if you think this thing is a hoax, think again. If I don't care if you live in places where you know, the mass population hasn't been affected, or you don't know people who actually passed away, talk to people like us who are from the greater New York City area. We know people who are no longer breathing, people who didn't have pre-existing health conditions, people who were healthy, family men, family women, had people who loved them and the people who they loved. If all you got to do is go out there and get a vaccination, and that can not only save your life, but save lives of others who you love, get out of here buying into the whole conspiracy theory thing. Go do what you
this is what I wanted to ask you. You know, with the, I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell my lighting. I mean, I am Caucasian, you know, and because you guys are black, I wanted to ask you, what is the hesitancy with the black community when it comes to vaccines, that maybe we can find a happy medium? Because I happen to be quite knowledgeable and woke about all of the vaccines. So I want to be able to answer any questions. So this way, any listeners that have stayed to this point can understand where the importance lies in getting vaccinated. So what is the hesitancy amongst the hip hop or the black community where they're like, vaccine, I ain't getting that shit, but, you know, I'm good.
Whatever, you want that?
Yeah, I mean, bro, I think it has to do with a lot of the history. You get what I mean? Like through history of vaccine incidents and us not really trusting, you know, the government, and, you know, through history, things of that sort. I think, you know, it's natural for us specifically, of course, because of the way we've been done through history in America, that we sit there and we just more like, you know, naturally like, hold on, let me take some time with this, even though this is a situation where it's a whole different ballgame. Like Prez said, man, like we all personally know people who are in the grave because of it. You get what I mean? So there's a whole different ballgame. So I do understand, you know, us people of color's hesitations. I can't sit there and say that, you know, that I don't understand that, you know, but I think with this, it's a different situation, man. We trying to make sure that we save lives out here. You get what I mean? And we're able
Absolutely.
to get some sort of normalcy. You know what I mean?
Right. And I wanted to get, you know, your opinion on it, because I always have these discussions, because I have young artists that follow me all the time, and they always want to spit stupid conspiracy theory shit at me. Like, you'd be surprised how many people I've cut off that have been totally brainwashed by the other side and taught some, like, you know, no, I ain't taking a vaccine. They got trackers that are in there, you know, that they'll be able to, you know, there's Jewish lasers, you know, that have started the fires. And I'm like,
yeah, now this talks about infertility, you know what I mean, and things of that sort. So, you know, I do understand people's skepticism, you know, and the skepticism is coming from people of all colors, you know what I mean? But I do understand, you know, in my community, you know, the hesitancy. But like I said, this right here is real deal.
This is a learning experience for me, because I need to be able to how I'm supposed to, you know, approach, you know, when that I'm talking to them. Okay, I have to understand. Okay, there is hesitancy because from a historical reference of how you guys were done dirty in American history.
And I do, like I said, I understand the hesitancy with the vaccine. What I don't understand is people going out here and being stupid and acting like COVID isn't real, and not wearing masks and not socially distancing, and you know what I mean, and going to the club all like I have no understanding of whatsoever. You get me?
Dude, my timeline is filled with, you know, secret location, DM me for details. I literally I want to be that hip hop police guy. I want to go and bust that location and be like, you're all under arrest, or I'm kicking everyone's ass right now. Yeah, bro, strippers and all.
Bro, I don't understand that whatsoever. Like, I don't understand that whatsoever.
So basically what he's saying is, put your fucking mask on, stay socially distant, go get the fucking vaccine, do your own research, and let's get back to normal, because, you know, I'm living alone. I need some pussy. That's it. Plain and simple. That's just it. DjWhutever, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, and then Prez will get to you and plug whatever you need to and what you're doing for the future.
Oh man, DjWhutever.com. Of course, all the social media platforms at DjWhutever. Just spell it with a U. Of course, Power 105 in New York City, doing a bunch of stuff on the iHeart platforms, Jamming 94.5 in Boston. Of course, the Whatever It Takes DJ Academy. Of course, my merch as well. Whateverittakes.com. Yeah, you see one of my shirts on right here. You got the I'm Verified joint on. I got the
yes, sir.
Whatever It Takes shirt. So I mean, I'm all over the place, man. But I'm here. Most importantly, man, I'm just trying to give back and have an impact, on all these different communities, especially my own as a kid coming up from the South Bronx, man. Just trying to give inspiration to all the rest of the people that are coming up, especially these kids in the younger generation.
You're a true inspiration, my brother. And Prez, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you? Please let them know about your show on IG Live, about your Motivational Monday, on IG Live. Let them know about your YouTube channel, how they can get involved and how they can be part of such a great community and utilize some free game before you start charging these motherfuckers.
The price of the brick is about to go up, y'all. Get in there. But real talk, like before I get into all that, JopauL, thanks for having me. Whutever, my brother,
my guy.
Be on a platform with two people who are brothers to me. But tomorrow I'm doing a power panel once a month. I do a panel series called the Power Panel. If you're serious about getting into the music industry, if you're serious about learning about behind the scenes of the music industry or how you can break an artist, tomorrow I'm doing a power panel with Clinton Sparks and also James Cruz, who has managed everybody from Diddy to Busta Rhymes to now CJ. So
hold on. Oopsie.
Go learn more about the Power Panel. It is free. If you follow me at what is my thing? At Powermoves Prez.
Powermoves Prez.
Yep. POWERMOVES Prez. My last name. P as in Paul, R as in Roger, E as in Elvis, Z as in Zebra. At Powermoves Prez. All of the info is there. We're doing it tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like JopauL said, at the core of it, I'm a motivational speaker. And every Monday night, if you're looking for motivation, log on to my Instagram Live, 7 p.m. and Wednesdays, Warrior Wednesdays, where it is open discussion. I just provide the platform and any answers that young, up-and-coming execs and entrepreneurs might want to ask to OGs in the game, people who have built multi-million-dollar businesses. This is a community where again, it is each one teach one. It takes a village, and we just come in and we have extreme double down business talk. So it doesn't matter if you are a business owner who's created a huge Fortune 500 business, or if you're just thinking about getting into business and you just got your EIN number. This community is for you.
Dope.
Well said. Well said. And I'm a member of that community, and I support everything that he does. And he's official. And plus, for the Fortune 500 companies, we got Derek Ferguson, so he can help you. Just you don't have to pay his ass though. Trust me. But guys, thank you so much for taking your time. I know that you guys are super busy, especially with the stature that you've gained in this industry. It's like I feel like this is like you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. So what I like to do is I like to leave you guys with a quote as I end off all my podcasts with that I'd like you to apply to life, which I know both of you do anyway. And if there's ever anything I can do for you guys in the future, please, my phone is always open. I consider you guys my brothers as well as my friends, and anything we could do to elevate each other or the culture, count me in. So here goes my quote. Ready? We are all just here for a small cup of coffee. I'm just trying to drink it while it's still hot. I'm your boy. I'm JopauL. This has been the Verify Podcast. We were just chopping up with DjWhutever and Shawn Powermoves Prez. We are brought to you by Radio Pushers and Results in No Hype. Make sure you check us out at theverifypodcast.com. God damn it. It's your boy JopauL. Peace and love. I love y'all.
Perfect.
Powermoves only, y'all.
Later, guys.